glad that my brother's being inducted tonight. Now, this guy, I love him like a stepchild. I've always followed him my whole life. You know, he was always ahead of me, and I always watched behind him. The guy is one of the toughest guys that I've ever known in my life. We know how tough he was in athletics because you see it on the paper. But I'd like to say something about my brother that a lot of people don't know. He's like a superhero. He's got an alter ego. He's Daryll, and he's Yad. Now, Daryll is the guy that we all don't know. I think we all know Yad. So, Mr. Kip, Daryll told me when he called me up, he said, I selected between you and Mr. Kip to introduce me. I was like, oh, well, that's nice. And then I said, well, what am I going to say to Daryll, to a crowd in Bordentown that doesn't know about Daryll? Because he's kind of infamous as Daryll. But everybody knows Daryll, but they don't know. Everybody knows Yad, but they don't know Daryll. And Mr. Kip gave me that inspiration because Mr. Kip was one of the few people in high school that always called Daryll Daryll. He never called him Yad. And he gave me that inspiration. There's a lot of things that I can say about this guy. And I'm just going to say a few and then I'm going to get on with it. He was a three-sport athlete, like you see in the paper. I've been in the Hall of Fame a little while now. I've never accomplished that feat. And he lettered in each one of those sports multiple times. All right? 3 brothers in the Hall of Fame. I hear through a lot of back channels in Bordentown that this was the most talented of all 3 of the brothers. Now, I might argue that. There might be another one in heaven that might argue that. That's a conversation for another time. But this is one thing you can't argue about. He's one of the toughest guys that I've ever seen, man. And I love him for that. Post Bordentown Regional, my brothers had some struggles. And they had some falls. And I'd like to say this about struggle and fall. He's come from a mighty long way. He's come back to be the person that he is today. And I'm more proud of him for that than I am of anything. I mean, he's come back from a long way, and he's a very proud and giving man, and a loving man, the man he should have been all along. So I honor that. I honor that more for that than anything. The Hall of Fame is great for us. We've been through so much, and I'm so glad my brother's come back. I love him. I'm so glad that he's being honored tonight, and that's all I can say about him. But it gives me great pleasure and joy to introduce to you my big brother and a 2015 Bordentown Regional Hall of Fame inductee, Daryll Craig Williams, a.k.a. Yabba Dabba Doo.
Well, they do call me Yad, and my wife promised me not to be up here long. But I just wanted to share some things with you, and we wrote a couple of things down that I want to share with the committee. Okay, first, I'd like to give honor to God, who is the head of my life. And I would like to start out by thanking my brother Wayne, who was marvelous in the induction. I'm so grateful for the Bordentown Regional High School Hall of Fame Committee for this induction. And I'm thankful to my oldest brother, Charles Cressy Williams, for his never-ending instruction, support, effort, and inspiring greatness in 2 younger brothers. I'd also like to thank my parents, Charles and Shirley Williams. I'd like to thank my grandparents, Augustus Caesar Alexander and Mariah Alexander. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my lovely wife, Rosalind Williams. She asked a lot of questions. And she asked questions 6 years ago, and she kept asking, why aren't you in the Hall of Fame? And she never stopped asking us questions. And she never stopped answering them questions until she got her answer. Baby, thanks. Thank you. I love you. I believe I'm one of only 3 brothers to be inducted into the Hall of Fame at this time. And I'd like to acknowledge the fellow inductees for this year, the 2014-2015 class: Danielle Burns, Rob Novak, Dick Ganges, Kimberly Lemeni, Philip Engling, and the 1960 baseball team. I look back on the accomplishments in wrestling, baseball, and football, which has caused me to reflect on how hard I worked, the long days, the after schools, and the long nights. Many long, hard practices. It taught me to push myself to new heights and instilled a sense of toughness and a will to win and to be the best that I could be. I've learned the most about peer leadership from my classmates, and I'd like to thank some of them who actually came out. And I want them to know that as I accept this, that through the years, from kindergarten all the way up, I love you, and you are part of this with me. Thank you. I had many great coaches and teammates who helped me along the way, such as Mr. Kip, Coach Kramer, and Mr. Burkhart. And still to this day, we nurture very good friendships with these three men who I consider father figures in my life. And I always love to see them. Whenever I'm about town, it just does my heart good. It makes me reflect back on times when we were younger, and my older brother would sit around and he would talk about the coaches after the high school, and me and Wayne would hear him and the other athletes gather at our house. And we couldn't wait for an opportunity to meet these guys who we kind of considered as legends, gods. Mr. Kip, Mr. Burkhart, Mr. Kidd, Coach Kramer. These were people we hadn't even met yet. And I know Wayne would probably agree, we couldn't wait to get our chance to come and show them what we could do. I'd like to thank my friends who are here today, and I spoke briefly about them. Joe Flesh, Erica Royal, Jim Burns, and another special friend who showed up, Irene Bannis, my classmates. I don't know how you feel about that, but we've known these people, I've known these people for a very long time, and one of our classmates said it best, that this class that I was with, we genuinely liked each other. We can meet 4 or 5 times in a year, and it's not a class reunion, it's a meet and greet. We probably have more reunions than any class meeting together. I'd like to take a moment and talk about some of the unsung heroes who get missed at such events like this. Now, it may seem funny, but after working in the field for a while as a blue-collar worker, some of the people who are unsung are the custodians who keep our locker rooms clean, keep us from getting sick and infections. I'd like to thank those cafeteria ladies who made those meals that provided us with the strength and nourishment to go on and do these things after school. I'd like to thank the neighborhoods, our villages, who watch over us, those people who know when we're younger and we're traveling down the road and they stand at the doorway and they look at you and know you're about to do something wrong and they go that. Those are the people I like to thank from deep down in my heart. They mean so much to me. The village of people who raise us, and some of you are here today. Being honored in this induction means for a moment in time, God allowed his grace and mercy to be shown through my determination, hard work, and the accumulation of late school days and many nights of sacrifice, along with working with my teammates and to strive to achieve to be the best that we could be. It means being satisfied with our efforts. One important milestone that comes to mind, and my brother spoke about it, a lot of people always knew me as Daryll. And I remember one time I had broke off on a 60-yard touchdown. And as I was coming down our sideline, it was the first time that I heard Mr. Kip ever use my nickname. And as I went by, I heard him going, "Go Yap!" And the way he said it was so funny, I almost fumbled the ball. But it was the first time that I had ever heard one of our coaches call us other than our real names. As I stand here, there's a thing that I always remember about playing ball at Bordentown Regional High School, and it's the series of Daryll games. The Daryll games were monumental to me because it was the anniversary of our house burning down. When I was a sophomore in high school, our house caught on fire at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had to jump from the 3rd story. And I was supposed to start that sophomore year against Daryll. But I received 3rd-degree burns on my face and my hands. And if you look at me, you wouldn't know it. And the doctors can't explain it. But that Daryll game gave me the intestinal fortitude to come back every year and rush better than I had rushed the year before. And I believe it set the, at the time I had 284 yards in one game and 5 touchdowns. So that was very special for me. And I know I've been up here for a minute. And before I get ready to take my seat, I'd just like to again say I'm truly honored to the committee and to you all. And thank you and God bless. Okay, the next presenter is someone